Actually, haven't even seen him, Zelos. But I'll tell you what. I'm gonna roll a perception roll, seeing that everybody is around. You know, the fire. I'm gonna do a perception roll really quick. What is Gymnast perception? She's probably pretty good. And in fact, I'm going to use investigation. Oh, I'll use that. So it's 4. I'm going to set it at about a DC 15. And she just kind of, you kind of notice her kind of looking over everyone. Just kind of looking over everyone and talking at the same time.
Well, I would like to ask Gemma who
Yes,
she's associated with if we're on the same side.
oh, I can't tell you that. Maybe when the time is right, I could possibly tell you. You know, it's not nice to ask a young lady her age or what side she's affiliated with.
Well, we're at a quandary with the. We're kind of in a pickle with these cultists.
Are you? What kind of
I was,
pickle?
I was, I was captured by a group of these cultists
By these same cultists?
about 2.5 months ago, and at least
And you're traveling freely amongst them? Oh my gosh, you have the luck of the elves on your side. Or maybe the luck of the gnomes.
actually, I've been wearing a robe with a hood on it.
What's up, Runs?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, well, you've been pretty lucky.
We think so, but one of them has recognized me and is pursuing blackmail.
Blackmail? What kind of blackmail? I mean, if you're saying they
I
have
have a
all
note.
of this treasure in the wagons, what does he individually want treasure for?
Well, funny you should ask. Here, look at this note I found in my armor this morning, and I'll pass her the note
Okay, she
demanding
takes the
the
note.
1,000 gold.
She looks at it and she chuckles. 1,000 gold? Oh my gosh, who's got 1,000 gold lying around? I guess, when do you guys got 1,000 gold lying around? Now she's really starting
None
to
of
kind of
us.
eye everybody up and down. Oh, so I wonder what the whole point is. What else did this cultist tell you?
This cultist said, "Give me 1,000 gold, or I will expose you to the rest of the cultists in this caravan." Perhaps he's doing a little freelancing.
That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like he might not be on the cultist side after all. You know, because those cultists usually stick together and, you know, all of their treasure usually stays together.
But he travels with the cultists and the cultist wagons.
And which cultist?
And,
Do you see that guy? Is he around here right now? Which one is it?
Perhaps you've noticed him. He's the one with the dishwater blonde hair and scraggly blonde beard. The guy with the long arms. His knuckles practically dry the ground.
Oh
He's
my
got a large
God!
wart on the right side of his nose.
This is the guy that's got the big wart, the big pussy wart. Oh my God, that guy is hideous. How did he recognize you? Was he part of the the contingency back at their base that you said that they had? Their Death Star?
He was in their encampment when we were captured and tied to the stake there for several days. And
wow,
he was prominent amongst those that were tossing pebbles at us and jeering and discussing which parts of us they were going to cut off later in the evening.
Oh wow. So he was really fixing it. How did you guys get out of that situation?
Long
Did
story
you guys
short,
fight your way out? Did you go out blaze of glory? What did you do? How'd you get out of there?
we snuck out in the dead of night.
Ooh, you guys sound
It was
like my type of heroes.
it was no time to start a fight. We were just a little outnumbered.
Sounds like you guys would be the kind of types that I would probably hang out on occasion. Well, maybe.
Maybe. Well,
Who's that laughing?
we're thinking we should do this guy in and drag his carcass off into the woods.
Well, I'm sure I
Your
could.
caravan is much closer to them than ours. What do you notice of the guard arrangements, and is there anything you might be able to toss in to help us get rid of this guy?
The only thing that I could tell you, I don't really know anything about that knuckle dragger, but I'll tell you what, I've seen him around a couple times the last couple days. I'll keep an eye out. If I see him heading this way, maybe I'll even come back and tell you that he's coming. But I will tell you this, you need to watch out for the other person that got on at Daggerford. We're not traveling together, but he is a Red Wizard of Fey. And the Red Wizards of Fey, you can't trust them. Those dirty scoundrels.
Hmm.
Yeah. He's definitely a mercenary for the cultist. He's not your ordinary cultist either. He has magic. I mean, he is a Red Wizard of Fey. My gnome female voice is so horrible.
Does Red
I'm
Wizard
sorry,
have
everybody.
a name?
I think his name is Asbara. I heard one of the other. I think I heard whatever his name is, Jojoba, whatever the cultist leader that's running this caravan. I think I heard him call him Asbara, but I'm not sure about the last name.
Had you noticed him in Daggerford? Did you notice him before he joined the caravan and what he might have been doing there in Daggerford?
Actually, I didn't see that guy until the day that the caravan came, and in fact, they didn't even want to allow me onto the caravan. I literally had to give my left leg to get onto this thing, so I'm a little tapped for resources now, if you know what I mean. It literally cost me 100 gold to get on this thing. He
Quite
said,
expensive.
yeah, he said, we're not taking any more. We're not taking any more. Sorry. But all of a sudden, this other guy joins, and then I said, hey, what's the deal, pal? And then we started, getting into a little heated discussion, and then I said, how about let's just go ahead and solve the problem, and you could take this bag of 100 gold. And he says, enjoy the caravan ride to Waterdeep. So, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm enjoying it, kind of.
And this Red Wizard you joined is associated with the cultists?
Yeah, he's a mercenary. He's a Red Wizard of Fey.
Hmm. What do you think of our plan to off the blackmailer and leave his carcass in the woods?
I think it's
You
a great
suggest
idea.
that we do that?
But I don't think it's going to be such a great idea if you get caught. Because you're going to have 12 of these swordsmen up your rear ends if you get caught. And probably that Red Wizard of Fey. And usually those Red Wizards of Fey, they cast fireballs. They cast lightning. I don't want to be the recipient of anything like that.
I don't think we do either. You see this cultist that we described? You see him walking regularly outside the cultist encampment?
I don't know his patterns, but I have seen him around, especially when you described the big pussy wart on his nose. That's how I was able to picture him out, because all those guys, they look the same. I mean, all you humans look the same to me. So, I mean, not trying to be mean or anything, but I mean, it's the truth. But I remember that big old pussy wart though on his nose. Hey, what's up, Eagle Brett?
Might you be able to
What's up, Dakota?
keep an eye on their encampment and let us know if he goes out for a wander this evening.
I'll let you know. But I'll tell you what, if this plan goes south, I'm not joining in. I know when I'm outmatched. And I'm pretty hefty with a blade, too. And she pulls out a couple daggers and spins them around a couple times. Looks like she can definitely handle a blade, and then she puts them back into the sheaths.
And Zelos looks at her and says, it might be a lot quieter, cleaner, and easier to accomplish if we were to get him away from the guards in his encampment. That would certainly even up the odds.
Yeah, but
appreciably.
Does he have any other of his friends? Any other cultists know about this too, or was he alone? Did you take that into consideration? Because if he dies, hey, maybe they have a foolproof plan already. You gotta think of stuff like this, you know? Yeah, am I the only one that does all the work around this? Oh, my friends too, oh boy.
I love it. We appreciate the wisdom of your words, and we feel like we're dealing with a single individual. A group could not have penetrated our camp to have left that note.
Yeah, plus they probably would have offed you already too. I mean, they got the power to do it. I mean, look at this.
That's possible. If they really knew, if a group of them knew who we were at this point, I think we'd definitely be pushing daisies somewhere.
Yeah, well, hey, I'll tell you what. If I see this guy, if I see old Knuckle Dragger coming your way, I'll be back to let you know. Watch your breakfast now.
None of us are feeling terribly hungry in the morning anymore.
You sticking to rations now, huh?
That jerky's mighty good, and it's hard to get a splinter in.
You bonehead. There was no bones. I just wanted to get contact with you. You fell for one of the oldest tricks in the book. Maybe you can use that again.
Poison bone?
Yeah. Well, hey, that leads to simple conversation, and like what we're doing now.
Thank you, Gemma. We thought there for a time that we owed you a life. I guess we just owe you a laugh and a pat on the back instead.
Yeah, just remember, we're on the same side here.
But we would appreciate warning if you see this guy get a little case of the wanderlust this evening. Let us know if he has friends with him.
Will do. Tita.
Thank you.
Hidey ho. And she kind of disappears, shifts around the other side of the wagon. She's gone.
Well, mates, what do you think? Are we
wow,
try to jump this guy even though they have night guards out, or should we? I'm looking for suggestions.
By this point, the sun is now setting. It is now starting to get dark.
Well, so my suggestion is I'm not stealthy enough, so I can be a distraction if need be.
Especially
but I'm not going to be
armor.
Exactly. I'm not going to be
Same
stealthy
here.
enough getting over there.
Same here.
Delos is the only one amongst us stealthy enough to make it to stealth over to the wagon.
Well, I wouldn't say you're the only one that's kind of stealthy. I mean, I'm sort of stealthy.
Well, I've got an 8+ to my stealth roll.
6 for mine.
That's good. I think if we're going to sneak up on him, do you want to roll or would you like me to?
The gnomes sticks her head around the corner. What are all these numbers you guys are talking about? I thought you guys were in character.
Talk about measuring it. I've got a +8. I've got a +6. I win.
Well, every once in a while you got to pull it out and see who's got the biggest.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jesus. You had to go there.
Oh,
Oh boy. I gotta go. I'll see you later. I'll let you know about that knuckle dragger, though.
Okay, thank you. Let us
Facepalm.
let us wait until at least the second watch at night before maybe this guy will get get a case of the God of Walks, and we can do him in away from the other cultists. Otherwise, we're going to have to go in there, kill the guy, drag him out, and
You could always use poison if that's something that you have, or maybe Misty can do something all super sneaky.
Misty's not here yet.
Oh, I mean, never mind.
If we only had Kenza to go in there, no weasel
I know she
form,
could have
and-
stealthed in there as a bear. No, I'm just joking.
A bear.
I don't know, man.
that would have been pretty good. We could just have the bear drag that guy out, maul him, run off into the woods, and nobody'd be the wiser anyway.
Or an octopus. Bear and octopus, that's what I think.
Okay, just something grab this guy and thrash him right there and take off into the woods, and we wouldn't have to be explaining anything,
Well,
trying to be stealthy or anything. That would be much easier.
Unreal.
Well,
This is
maybe
too funny.
maybe you can both go stealthy, but I just know that I wouldn't be able to help much. But if you get in some deep doo doo, you can always yell out, and maybe I can help out then.
Well, they've got a dozen men and a red wizard up there. I'm not
Wait, is it only
really
a
don't want to
dozen
get
men?
in deep doo doo.
Is it in total for the cultists? Is it only a dozen men, or is it a dozen men for the Night Watch?
Well, they've got a dozen. They've got a dozen men up there.
Yeah. Plus they have others that are actually driving the wagons. Plus
That's
I
right.
mean,
They have upwards of 20 people up there.
Yeah, you've seen cultists getting in and out of the wagons also. So they've got heavy armed guards out of character. There's at least a dozen. I mean, they're always getting in wagons, getting out, switching
Well,
spaces.
when
do
you
know
meet
one
this guy,
thing.
maybe when you meet this guy, you can off him. We can set up a trap or something when you meet him. Didn't he want to meet you with the payment?
Like this.
Yeah,
you
he
know,
said
he's
he would
left a
find
note.
him.
He's left a note. He's got to find me to get his payoff. We could wait for him to come to us.
Yeah, he definitely said that he was coming back to find you.
just-
He said,
How
"You
does that
have
sound
till
like
tomorrow
fun?
night."
Is that tonight or tomorrow night?
That would be your tomorrow night. Would be right now. It is now.
we're-
so.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe what we should do is let him
He's coming
find
to
you.
us this evening. We need to set up a guard until he comes.
Yeah, and then when we off him, or when you off him, or whoever, then we can just say he was trying to steal all of our 2 chickens and our goat and all of our freaking ginger. He's a ginger thief.
And the cinnamon too. Don't forget you have cinnamon also. 30 pounds
Oh
of it.
snap!
30 pounds of
Only if
cinnamon
he
is a
makes
lot
a
of money.
fuss. If we kill him quickly and quietly, we'll just dispose of him quietly as well. Don't have to make any claims whatsoever. He's not in their camp. There's no sign of a fuss down there. Who knows what happened to him?
200 freaking pounds of ginger. Unbelievable.
So Tiberius will take first guard. That way I can sleep through the action.
Okay. You want to take first guard?
Okay.
That's fine.
Absolutely, I'll stay up and take first guard, sitting around the fire, be all extra watchful, but then stoke the fire with a stick and stare off in the distance and look all studly.
I think we ought to set the bedrolls. I think we ought to set the bedrolls up with ginger sacks under robes, and we should be out of sight in the dark surrounding the wagon.
Looking
All of us ought to be
studly.
watching and waiting.
We're gonna waste our ginger to pretend it's us. Push up some hay or something.
I don't think you guys are wasting your ginger at all.
I don't see that. Innocent sacks. What the hell?
I guess.
Well, let's fake some sleeping people near the fire here, and we'll all keep an eye and wait for this guy. Comes with company, we'll have company.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea. Alright, so let's see. Looks like Tiberius, he's going to be sleeping during the first watch. and everyone else is going to be
Tiberius
kind of
is,
taking
is
turns, or what?
I was going to take
Tiberius
the
is
first
watching
watch.
the first
Oh,
watch.
he's
I'll take
watching.
He'll be
first watch.
sleeping
Okay.
afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll sleep afterwards.
So
I
he
just wanna
can
make
sleep
that-
through everything. That's it.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
I want to make
Nice
sure
one.
that's nice and clear, or else this will be a mistake where I'm falling asleep guarding a bunch of ginger dummies.
Us redheads resent that remark.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And Krivgar and Silverclaw and Zelos are in the dark, basically surrounding the wagon in the dark, well hidden, and we're waiting for this guy.
All right. So, I mean, amazingly, everyone has uneventful watches. This guy never shows up, Zelos. This guy never shows up. Amazing. This guy never shows up. It is
Well,
now.
we all have bags under our eyes in the
Yeah.
morning.
It's now the next morning, and everybody is. You're a little tired. Everybody's a little tired. So when you guys are, when the sun's coming up, and you can see that all throughout the caravan, throughout the dozen wagons or so, you can see the other families getting up, getting their buckets out, filling their buckets up, kind of cleaning up for the day. You can see a couple of the maids and stuff that are with the merchants are starting to, looks like they're starting to cook some breakfast. The guards are still patrolling around, and then all of a sudden you start to hear a commotion to the north. Actually, I'm sorry, to the northwest, which is closer towards the front of the wagon. Well, closer towards the front of the actual caravan. And you can hear, oh my God! You can hear things like that. Oh, you hear a scream. Ah!
Let's have Tiberius check it out.
No, that was me screaming.
What would that
I don't
sound
like
like?
death.
What would
I'm a
that
light
sound
cleric.
like?
Oh! Dead people.
Shackler,
Scared.
thanks for the follow, Shackler. I appreciate it, man. Welcome to the community.
Sorry, that was too much acting.
That's okay. All right,
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna jump up and hoof it up there to see kind of what the action, what's going on, what all the commotion is. Fight my
Okay.
way through the crowd. What's going on? I've seen enough CSI to know what's going to happen at this point, but I'm going to fight my way through the crowd and kind of check out what's going on.
okay. So I want everyone else in the game to mute me, please, so they can't hear me. And you and I, Mr. Wormfood, will talk. I'm sorry, Tiberius. Gator,
All right,
thanks
I'm
for the
ready
follow,
for it.
Gator.
When those guys are done.
Thanks for the follow, Gator. Okay, so as you hear this commotion, Tiberius, there's starting to be a pretty large crowd around one of these wagons, and you notice that this is the first thing you notice. I'm not even going to make you do a perception roll. You notice that this crowd is gathering around that last cultist wagon, and as you're trying to.
Yeah, I'm going to make my way up.
Yeah,
to
you're
that
trying to
last
squirm
cultist
your
wagon
way.
to
You can
see what's
actually
going on.
see, as you kind of get up to the front, you can see that knuckle dragger, the guy with the big pussy warted nose. He's dead. He's pale. I mean, he's definitely pale, and he's half under the wagon and half out of the wagon. I mean, it's not like he's been run over and he's like all mangled up. I mean, he's just literally half laying under the wagon and half, not being under the wagon. But he's
So it's probably
definitely
suicide.
dead.
So it's probably suicide.
I don't know. But now,
All right.
now a couple of the guards are starting to show up over there.
I'm going to listen in a little bit before I step in and offer my assistance as a life cleric. I'm going to just listen a little bit. Then I'm going to step up and say, maybe I can help.
Come forward. What kind of? Do you have magic? Are you
I'm a
a
magic-
priest of the temple?
I am. I'm gonna take a couple steps and take a look at the dead guy, and see if there's anything I can do. I mean, obviously I can't raise dead or anything like that, so I'll just kind of check for a pulse and move him around. But while I'm doing that, I want to check to see what was it that could have killed this guy. Has he been beaten up? Are there any bruises?
He's laying on his back. You can't tell anything from laying on, as he's laying on his back and he's looking up at you. He's actually looking at you, but he's dead. He doesn't have any kind of blood coming out of any of his orifices, like his ears, his
and I'm
eyes,
not going to look at all of
mouth.
his orifices, Dave. Okay, eyes.
I
ears,
knew you were
I'm
going to
to
say
stop
that.
there. Anything above the belly button is fine.
Yeah, there's nothing, no blood like that. There's
All right.
no sign of struggle, no scuff marks in the dirt. Everything looks to be pretty clean where he's at. No footprints, except for your own. But it just seems funny. But you do see a hint of blood, kind of on the outline of his back, on the side of his back.
So I'm gonna
kind of coming out from his back onto the ground.
So I'm going to ask the guards to help me. I'm going to ask the guards to help me turn him over a little bit so I can get a better look at his back.
Okay. So
before I do, I'm going to look down at the body, look up at the guards, and I'm going to say, "He's dead." All super dramatic, like.
The whole crowd goes, "Oh, oh!" And then you hear another scream, "Ah!" And a couple of kids are screaming, and get back to the wagon. You can hear a couple of the parents say, "Get back to the wagon." So couple of the guards come over and they help you, move the body. And
we kind of roll him over. I want to look at his back.
Yeah, when you roll the body over, you can see that there is because he's not wearing any type of armor. He's just wearing like a cloth tunic. And there is a puncture hole on this tunic, like dead center of the back. And there's a lot of blood, like in a coagulated blood puddle, as you kind of move him. And it's a hard type of grassy / dirt. So there is a small pool of blood that was forming, and it kind of leaked out to the side also.
So is this puncture wound like a slice, or is it a hole? I mean, I'm a cleric, so I should be able to understand a little bit about the.
I guess you're gonna You're gonna move you're gonna kind of look actually. Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of move some of the dirt out of the way. And what I'm looking for is I'm trying to see, is it done by a sword?
Hey, Foley, holy cow!
By maybe a
long time no see,
like a tooth of a something, or those are the kinds of things I'm looking for.
Okay, so you basically you get him turned over all the way. He's now lying on his stomach. And he's kind of teetering back and forth because of his. No, I'm just kidding. He's not. But you kind of lift up. When you lift up his tunic, there's a perfect, precise strike right in the middle of his back. But there's not one. There's two, and they're so close to one another. And there's only one hole in the shirt, so both of these strikes probably went into that same hole for the cloth. I made the same hole.
So somebody obviously had some talent to be able to focus here.
Possibly. I mean, you've seen a lot of wounds in your days, and this is a precise wound because you're a cleric. You would know this. This isn't